Welcome back to Noka Media, your source for Northern Ontario homegrown media content.
Emergency services were once again called to Energy Court today. Critics are again calling it a crisis and calling on the city to respond. Bob Johnston and Tom Price are now calling for the Chief of Paramedic Services and the Sudbury CAO to reach out to them and discuss potential solutions or other measures that could potentially be used to temporarily alleviate the situation.
Here we are at Energy Court this Saturday. One ambulance just left. Now here's a supervisor's truck. And here we go with another ambulance. So 2 ambulances, a supervisor truck this Saturday. There it is, a supervisor truck. And we have 1 ambulance which just left, another ambulance here. I don't know anymore. I'm going to call out right now Art Regenball of EMS Services. I'm also going to call out our CAO and our mayor to end this crisis. It is so sad.
Lost more people in the last 10 years to opioid overdoses than we lost fighting in the Second World War.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
And we, these companies, it started in the States with Purdue and a number of others where they basically started lying to the system and they actually paid bonuses to distributors for every overdose they caused. They were very, very strategic. They said, we're going to go to working class neighborhoods where there's huge unemployment, so in the Rust Belt of America, where people were out of work and they obviously had some minor industrial injuries, and said, this will solve every ache and pain. Take OxyContin. And it felt great when they first started taking it. And then it spread into Canada as well. And then it mutated from OxyContin into fentanyl, which is 100 times more powerful than heroin. It can stop your lungs in 15 seconds. Just absolutely deadly. And these companies, these dirtbag companies, should be paying hundreds of billions of dollars to cover the treatment and recovery of the people whose lives have been ruined by this. And then they got this crazy idea that they pushed in places like Portland and Seattle and San Francisco, that the government should start giving out opioids that are safer than the ones that are on the street as an alternative to keep people from having contaminated drugs, which made the problem even worse because the addicts would sell those to kids so that they could buy the harder stuff off the street, and it expanded it even more. And so one of the things we're focused on, my plan, is massive treatment and recovery programs to get people off drugs. Abstinence-based treatment is incredible. It's very successful, and we're saving lives now in Canada. You get them in, you get them counseling, group therapy, treatment, sweat lodges for First Nations, people's physical exercise is a big part of it. I went to one treatment center in Saskatchewan, and they actually bought these rusted out weights, and they had the guys lifting weights, and the bureaucrats are saying, well, why are you spending money on weights? What does that have to do with it? He says, well, it's been the best thing we had. These guys started to see their biceps grow. And they're like, I want to look like this. And if I take drugs, I'm not going to look like this. So it was one of the best things they did. Then you get them into jobs and treatment. And there's one guy that I met in BC. He was going to kill himself. He drove his car into a brick wall because he was so ruined by his addiction. But he didn't die. He didn't pull it off. So he actually went into treatment, turned his life around, started a business. He's got 6 employees, and now he's going out on the street and helping, pulling guys off the street and bringing them in and saving their lives. So it's actually a really hopeful ending to the story if we can shift all our resources over to treatment and recovery services, which is one of my big objectives.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have a story or event you would like to see featured on this channel, just send us an email at nocaudits@gmail.com.